Ah, I could see everything much clearer. Yes, to be able to see clarity in life. Not so simple. When you're embroiled in something, when you're in something, it's sometimes very difficult to see outside of the box that you're in. As in Yiddish, there's a saying, when a guest comes for a while, can zet a mile. When a guest comes for a while, can see a mile. So whereas our vision is limited, because we're embroiled in something, we're in it, we're cooked in it, and as a result, we can't see that far. Sometimes you need someone on the outside who can help you to see further. Yeah, so I had a conversation last night with someone embroiled in a very difficult marriage, and asked a simple question: what could you do to make it better? With all the therapy and all the therapists, didn't have a response or an understanding. I really thought about it, because you're embroiled, you just can only see what's like in front of you and see the other, but not see maybe what you could do. Not that the person was doing something even bad. That doesn't mean maybe something you could do that would be good. That's why sometimes you need someone from the outside. That's, by the way, TRC, one of the things it does. It gives a perspective not of our own, from the outside, to help guide in things that we might be going through in life. Yeah. All right. Welcome to Tanya today. And we welcome Michael Tog in Germany. Welcome to King Boker Tov. Rusty in Texas, good morning. Rabbi is in Morocco joining us. June in Australia, welcome. Gina is in Calgary. Boker Tov. Likewise, Andrea, Phoenix, North Carolina. John is with us. Amy is in Colorado. King is in Hammond. Where is that? Is that India? Anyways, let me know. That's TJ Terrence, Erev Tov in Melbourne, Australia. Simcha's in Florida with us, and so's Leah in Florida. Joseph in New Jersey, Liba and Davida in New York, Clem in Brisbane, Australia. Julia is joining us in Pennsylvania. Elise is in West Virginia. Cindy in Florida. Eugenio in Argentina. All right. Chava Celeste is in Colorado. I miss anybody here? Brett in Pennsylvania. Diane in Arizona. Penny's in New Jersey. David in Sacramento. We got Steve, Michael, Dilma, and Ruthie joining us. Clubhousers. We have Natalie in England. Join us for Chomesh Rashi. Akoy in Lima, Peru. Yes, happy. We have Hamid in Montreal. We have in Brazil, Carlos. Jennifer in Minnesota. Nathalise. Love and Compromise. Okay, beautiful. Yenta de la Venta in New York. Marlena in Florida is with us. Alice in Baltimore. Wonderful. So what's the ultimate inclusion? We live in a world that of diversity. And there's a notion that we should make uniformity, or I don't know if uniformity is the right word, but bring people together. The nature of the world is not that way. And therefore there has to be a concerted effort to create a unity. Because by the nature of the world, there is diversity. Right? We see the world as binary. There's up, there's down, there's right, there's left, there's clockwise and counterclockwise, there's to open and to close, there's light, there's dark, there's good, there's bad, there's nature, there's miracle. Two forces, two powers. And that's how we instinctually look at the world and deal with the world as a result. However, in the divine order of things, God's names are mutually inclusive. Because because God, He and His attributes, His qualities, they're all one, a complete unity with Him. They're united in a perfect oneness. As God is you, or the one, as the Zohar says, it binds the spheros, the 10 attributes, divine attributes, together, as there is no unity similar to that oneness. What does that mean? Havaya hu Elokim. Havaya, the name Havaya, the tetragrammaton, is Elokim. They're bound up together as one. And as a result, there's nothing else but the oneness of God. Not diverse powers of God, two basic powers of Chesed and Gvura. Chesed being the quality of the name Havaya, Gvura being the name of Elokim. In other words, loving kindness and refrain and judgment. But they're actually one. That which is revealing and that which is concealing are totally bound up in one with God. So, Havaya hu Elokim, Hashem, that is transcendent, that is to reveal, is concealment. Concealment is revelation by God. It's just one and the same God, and bound up in one in the same perfect unity. His name is one, his attributes are his names, and they are one with him. Therefore, Elokim is one with Havaya. Kindness is one with refrain and holding back. Now, just that we can understand, in a sense, we also have the quality of a oneness in us, We also have giving and holding back. We have right and left, right? And we're one person, up, down, and so on. But we are a compound of different qualities. And therefore, yes, kindness is a part of me, and so is judgment and refrain and holding back and, breathing in, breathe out. But I am not one with those things in a perfect unity. I'm a compound of them. So I could choose to be kind. I could choose to be judgmental, and not judgmental in a bad way, discerning. Maybe that's a better word. I'm sorry. Discerning. Loving kindness is without discernment. Just give. Discernment means only give when it's appropriate. Get what you deserve. Sometimes you have to do that, but sometimes not. Sometimes you just give without the discerning, limitation, boundaries. And we sense them as two different powers in us. They're not a perfect unity within me, but in God they are. They're a perfect unity. So we really can't wrap our minds perfectly around that idea. But as a result of that, God is always kind and God is always discerning. He's always giving and always holding back and concealing. Because both are one with Him. So both are going to be just as He is, so are those qualities of Him. They are. Me, they're not. I'm not kindness. I choose to be kind. But my soul is made up of, yes, goodness and kindness and giving, absolutely. And that's only because God is that way, and that's a part of God. And therefore that's me. But it's not me in a perfect unity. That's the point. It's a compounded unity. Right? By God, it's not that way. Therefore, whatever is happening, it's of God. It's God's goodness and kindness. And what that means is, moreover and more importantly, that it is as it is before God. There is only Him as the only reality, not binary. The world isn't binary from God's perspective. From God's perspective, there's only but Him, and everything is nullified to Him, and the only reality and the only authenticity is just but Him. Everything else is utter nothingness in relation to God. We just said that the name Elohim obscures and contracts the divine life force. But that's only from my perspective, the perspective of creation, but not from God's perspective. Nothing conceals Him. He doesn't conceal Himself. Therefore, even the earth, let alone the spiritual world, but this physical world, is utter nothingness in relation to God. And it's not even called it's subordinate, it's secondary, it's like an extra. It's Melech ben Shlomo, his memory be for a blessing, used to work as an extra for movie sets. I told him, Melech, Morty, in Hollywood you're an extra, but here in Chabad you're essential. You're not extra, you're essential. So there's something essential, but then there's that which is subordinate, which is essential. So for example, the body is subordinate to the soul. The soul is essential. The soul gives life. The body houses it. It's subordinate to the soul. And we should live our lives that way, parenthetically, right? Of course, the soul is that the body is subordinate to the soul, and we listen to what the soul has to say. But what do we have over here? That's binary. There's something that's essential, but then there's something subordinate to it. And that's how we look at God. God, as he fills the world, is like the soul that fills the body, that it is essential, but there's still a thing there called a body. It's still a something. So likewise, God, yes, he is the source of life, but there's still a something called the world, the galaxies, the spiritual world. Me, hello, I'm here. Right? That's wrong. There isn't a world that's subordinate to God. There is no world. Because the fact that it would be subordinate, again, metaphorically, like the body is subordinate to the soul, means that there is a reality to the body, though. Because the body is provided with life, not from the soul, right? It's from the food you eat. That's what nourishes the body. Soul gives, yes, vitality and gives life, and gives meaning and direction and true value. But, food maintains the body. And when God forbid, after 120, what happens? The body and soul separate. Well, there's still a physical body. There's still a something there. There's still a something there. Even after centuries, there's still going to be the loose bone. And from there the body will rejuvenate and regenerate. All right? That's what's going to happen. No. And so still a something. Before God, there's no something that's nullified, subordinate to him. There's no thing. Just him. He's the only thing, the only reality. That's who we are. That's what the world is. Heavy duty. Think about that. Meditate upon that. What does that mean in Avodah, in divine service? Is that anything and everything that occurs is nothing else but an expression of God, and therefore recognize that and deal with it from that perspective. This is God communicating. This is God creating this reality. There's nothing else but him. That's how I have to respond to that reality. Which would mean, okay, what does God need from me? There's no other reality than him. So therefore, hey, how am I dealing with this? What does he need from me as a result? This is not what Tanya is saying here, because we're just learning the pure physics of the universe in Shayucha Ve'emunah, in the second part of Tanya. I'm just adding that so we can understand that this is the impetus for us to kind of let go. Ego, edging God out. Don't edge him out, right? And what the point over here is not that he is primary and I'm secondary. No, I'm not secondary. It's not like he's the most important and I come, a far second. But this is saying that there is only but him. He's the only reality. He's creating me now, something from nothing. That's been concealed from me. That's only from my perspective. From his perspective, I'm bound up in one with him totally. And therefore, that's what we're here to bring out, that the world's not binary. The world is Einoid. There's nothing else but him. And therefore, there's nothing but serving what we've been created for. We're in the service of. We are committed to what the Torah mitzvahs, because that's what he gave us, that will be the vehicle to reveal that truth in me and in the world around me. All right. Any questions? Heavy duty. Vida, are we subordinate to our fellow Jews? No, we're one with them. We're one with them. We're not subordinate. We're one with them, like one body. Like one body is right? Like one body is, is my arm. I mean, in a way, my arm is subordinate to my brain, right? Because my brain sends a message over, right? So there is that, but we are interconnected, and therefore, my liver needs a healthy, spleen. Spleen needs a healthy heart, so we're all interconnected, and in that sense need each other and dependent on each other. And in that way, you might say the word subordinate. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but you might say that. Francesco, oh, someone new, welcome. Elaborate on no world, please, none else besides him. I pinch myself, I feel myself, I am aware that I am, but in the end, really, I am just an expression of the divine. I'm part of God. Our binary sense means there's God is up there. He's responsible for me down here. I'm subordinate to him. He is, the one that rules. He's the one that, everything he orchestrates, and everything happens by the hand of heaven. And that's how we look at it, right? But this is a deeper idea. This is an idea that God, before he created the world, he was the only existence. After he creates the world, he's still the only existence. My perspective, I don't see that way. That's our perspective. God created the world through the two God's names of Havaya, Elohim, of Chesed and Gvura, of a divine kindness, of revealing the light of God's discernment, where he hides that light, but he's only hiding it from himself. He's not hiding from us, rather. He's not hiding from himself. I'm hiding my eyes from you, but my eyes are to me. Right? I'm not hiding myself of myself, but to you. So that's what God is doing. But the truth is, from his perception, just as he is the only existence before creation, he's the only existence now. Meaning we're not separate from him. He's not up there puppeteering. This whole everything is only him animating, creating the world, something from nothing, from his word. Right? Let there be light. Let the firmament in the heavens stand, and so on and so forth. That's what we've been learning in the last 6 chapters here, Francesco. I think you're new, so I hope that was a brief intro into what we've been learning for the last little bit. Thank you for asking so you can get a clarity. John, when Mashiach comes and the cover of Gvura is removed from the sun, Chesed, what will prevent the creation from being subsumed in the blessed infinite light? Excellent question, John. Ultimately, God wants us to, to be able to have His perspective, but we have to work to get there. And that's what Tanya is helping us to work to get there. So we're working to get there in our mind's eye to know this truth that will allow the physical eye to live that truth in times of Mashiach. And as we'll perceive how the world is an expression of the divine. And we will experience it. Now we can understand it, then we will experience it. So why would it not be nullified? Because we refine the world. The reason why we're not capable now is because of the darkness, because of the negativity, the evil of the world. When that's eradicated, the world becomes a vessel for the essence of God Himself. Thank you, John. Excellent. Okay, Jennifer has a question on Instagram. Would you say that people have a symbolic relationship with one another? Could you explain the connection and the responsibility we have for one another? So there's different levels. Amongst the Jewish people, there's a deeper responsibility that a Jew has to a fellow Jew, being that we are like one nation, one people, like one body. Just like one body, you need every healthy parts of the body in order to have a functioning body. So likewise, there is that interconnectiveness of Jewish souls that's unique. At the same time, though, we also have a responsibility as Jews to all of humanity, as everybody's created in the image of God, B'Tselem Elokim, and therefore we have a responsibility to the rest of the world to help them find and to live with that image of God that they are created in, and that they fulfill 7 Noahide laws, for example, which are universal laws for everyone, that we have a responsibility to be a light unto the nations to bring that to the world. So that's in brief. Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer. The responsibility we have as Jewish people. And a non-Jew to a non-Jew has a responsibility, or to any person, of someone created in the image of God, and that we not only respect that, but we have a responsibility to help everybody live with that image, with that notion. Lynn, shouldn't we address our own darkness before the darkness of the world? Very good question. Actually, that's the mimer that we're learning in the morning in Torah Or. Right? You pray before you go out into the world and deal with otherness of the world, because the prayer is taking in your heart that is, the animal soul in it is rooted downwards and wants to bring you down to materialism and to live a materialistic life. And prayer is about helping to climb the ladder, that the animal soul can climb the ladder and go and be exalted, and to connect itself through the divine soul of the person to much more profound commitment. So sounds like a good thing. Okay, more questions. Alice, how much responsibility do we have enlightening others? Go listen to my Torah studies class from Sunday. Go to TanyaRabbi.com, you'll find it there, or you go to YouTube station, Tanya Rabbi, you'll find it there. Great responsibility. Diversity very often can lead to disconnection when people focus on the differences. So how to be aware of the oneness and keep it consistently. Excellent question, Natalie's. That's why we got to learn every day, Tanya. Excellent question. That's why we have to learn Tanya every day, because by learning Tanya every day, it gives us the capability of living with the oneness and the unity of God. Hamid. So by virtue of Hashem concealed himself during the time of Esther. Yeah. Yeah, by this virtue Hashem concealed himself. So God concealing himself just means an opportunity to me to find him. Right? So you won't find God in your anger. You'll only find yourself. You won't find God in your complacency. You'll just find your desire for pleasure. That's what you'll find. So where are you going to find him? Yeah, you won't find. Gotta find him. He's hidden, and we gotta find him in every moment. He's the only reality, so then that's what we're gonna look for and find. Jeff has a question. Jeff, how do we balance the importance of worldly affairs, politics, family? Whoa, you put politics and family as worldly affairs. Politics, yes, but not family. That's godly affairs. With the fact that God is the only existence and we are one with God. The things happening in the world, both good and bad, require attention, yet everything is nullified in relation to Him. Excellent question, Jeff. Excellent question. I think we're going to deal with that on TRC on Thursday at 4:30. Like, how do you deal with that with juggling, life? Yep. If you don't mind, we'll deal with it there. Okay, excellent. Davida, has Hashem's Shekhinah always meant to be hidden or only after the destruction of the temple? Well, different levels of that. First, it was hidden by Adam and Eve eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It then became more hidden after the destruction of the first temple, then more by the destruction of the second temple. And, listen, if today you can't even know, if there's no truth about what your identity is, what your gender is, so he's getting more and more hidden. Our job is just to reveal more and more. That's who and what we are. Siska has another question. Why don't we see him after 4 years of Torah, Tanya, Zohar, and Kabbalah? Good question. Excellent question. Like, we've been learning Tanya so long. We've been doing so many mitzvahs. What's going on over here? How come we aren't privileged yet? Yeah. Another TRC quick question. Okay, another TRC question. This is all therapeutic stuff. Excellent stuff. Amazing, I gotta tell you. I'm making it rough now. Me? Yeah. Do the righteous see Hashem? I don't know what it means to see, but they're definitely connected, and they're definitely connected, and are a reflection of the divine. See, God communicates with them. I don't see exactly and what that means. If I would know, I would be. So I can't fully tell you that. Yeah. All right, we're gonna have to continue our conversation. Amazing. Kol hakavod to everybody. How much of the world can we ignore? How much we get caught up in it? Excellent question, Alice. Lipsha. Wow. Lots of good stuff. Okay. Whoa. Lots of good stuff up for TRC. All right, folks. We're going to leave it at that for now. I want to thank you. You're all amazing. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you for Chabad Zichron Kadesh, Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you, Tanya. An amazing day. Thank you all. Rambam is coming up right now.